Boom! Hello out there in Cyberland, and welcome to the Ryan Carr Show live. Right here on Facebook, I'm Ryan Carr. I'm a stunt double and actor here in Chicago.
I am Bob Beck, stuntman, actor, and proud producer of this very show.
Yes, yes. And my good buddy Tully, he's the guy who gets to play with all the fun toys.
Welcome back, Tully.
Thank you, and thank you to the benefactor for the new toy.
Yeah, we got an anonymous benefactor that keeps giving us fun stuff to play with.
We're going to use it.
We got a good show for you guys, but I mean, we got some good news too.
We actually have a pretty big announcement for this show. We found out right before we came on the air that we have been renewed for a second season. So this is the start of season 2. So
welcome to season 2 of the Ryan.
Thank you everybody for watching. Thank Jeremy in the booth, Sarah in the booth, doing a great job. And thank
Natalie and everybody
Natalie as well, who
helped with season 1 and did season 1 with us. And you can watch season 1 on our YouTube.
Yes.
It's the Ninja Club production company YouTube. It's right there. So what we do here on the Ryan Carr Show is we do the stunt news, the union news, and a little bit of the entertainment industry update from locally here in Chicago. Me, right now, I'm actually working on what I'm going to say at my 10-year reunion. Because actually, I think I better not say anything. I'm sure if I start talking, I'm going to just talk for a while. And it's like I should just tell them, be like, hey, I'm a stunt guy. If you guys are interested in this kind of thing, hit me up. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
And they will hit you up.
Yeah, I mean, and they should. If people at North Carolina School of the Arts, University of North Carolina School of the Arts, if you're interested in stunt work or stunty things or gymnastics or like all the stuff that I do, I'm a very accessible person. Get in contact and ask your questions. We'll answer them on the show. But I went to University of North Carolina School of the Arts. That's where I studied acting. One of the biggest compliments that I got this month was a stunt coordinator looked me right in the eyes and he said, Ryan, I can tell that you paid a lot for acting lessons. And I know that kind of sounds funny, and it is kind of a funny thing to say to me because we all josh around on set and everything. But it's true. I did. And I'm very good at what I do now.
You should be proud of yourself.
You know?
You should.
And Tully, you went to acting school too, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, number one, it's a great experience because it actually almost took me 10 years to realize how great that experience was, because I'm in this safe space where I can concentrate on developing a personality. I mean, if you are that 18-year-old kid where it's just like you got it, you got that it factor, or you're Miley Cyrus or something, yeah, go to LA, go be a big star, go be somebody, be as big as you want to be. But like me, I did need a little bit of time in a safe space to like learn and hone my craft and study what it is to really be an artist and care about, to find out what I cared about. So that was a high compliment to me. And, you know.
Well, you should take it as a compliment because you know how to act. As a stunt performer, doing the stunt sometimes is the easiest thing to do, but actually
Getting the job is the hardest part.
Getting the job is the hardest. Doing the gag should be the easiest, but actually playing that part.
But also making it believable.
Right, making it believable. If you're a cop or you're a bad guy or a bodyguard or a doorman, all like the type of things that we get booked for, you have to play that part, and then the stunt part comes naturally.
Right.
You know,
it's almost like all stunt people should really take acting seriously.
I was told that by an actor on Prison Break when I was a stand-in and I did stunt work. He said all stunt guys should
take acting
class. He goes, just so you can learn, like, hey, let's get out of here, or freeze, some simple phrase that you're going to deliver in a movie or TV show that's going to be believable. You know.
Well, it almost seems like more and more stunt people are even getting. It's like the line gets blurred.
Right.
Now we audition. We audition as stunt people if there is acting involved. Sometimes the job, it's like they could just say, well, there is no acting involved. It's just a stunt. They're in a car. They're this. They're that. You know, they're safety or whatever they are. But if there is acting involved, then there may also be an audition. I think that's fair. That's the number one way to make sure.
If there's any kind of dialogue or interaction with the principal, a stunt performer
it
should turn into a stunt actor.
And then you wonder where those submissions come from. So if there's no agent and there's no manager, then how do the casting directors know which stunt people to audition? There's only going to be, obviously there's a reputation thing.
Right.
So through whatever reputation, they know the people that they want to contact to bring in those certain people. But it's almost like to be a great producer, you want to save the show money. To be a great casting director, you want to have variety. You want to show that you are an eclectic collector of people and personalities. And I think that comes with using lots of different people for submissions.
Yeah. Also, the viewer is a lot more savvy. They notice things.
Yeah.
And people in general like to pick out negatives on you.
Right.
No matter what, in everyday life. But when they're watching a show and they see a character as a police officer, and then 3 weeks later he's a bad guy, and it's the same stunt guy,
and it's not
and
Murdoch from like.
Then people go online, especially a shared universe of the Chicago shows. If you're a cop on one show and then you're a bad guy on another show, it's not going to work.
So now it's interesting that you're talking about this, Bob, because I've done a couple of numbers. I've done some number crunching, okay? And this is basically the Dick Wolf math of Chicago. I would call it Dick math, okay?
Not like Common Core math.
There's about 4,000 SAG-AFTRA stunt people, or not stunt people, SAG-AFTRA people.
After people, yeah.
In Chicago, there's like 120 stunt people in Chicago and the next bordering 6 states. And then there's the 3 Dick Wolf shows, okay? Each of those 3 shows has 10 actors on it that are have their regular jobs, right? So 3 times 10, that's 30. Let's say every season they need about 50 other actors on the show. So Chicago Fire, 50 times 6, that's 300. Chicago PD, 50 times 5, that's 250. Med, or actually I think this was Empire, 50 times 4, 200. And basically what it all boils down to is that we've used probably 1,000 to 1,500 of the actors in Chicago already.
Right.
In the stunt business, we call this getting your face burned, as in they've already seen these people.
Right.
Okay? So if there's only, out of the 4,000, about 2,000, 3,000 people that are active members, I'm basically telling everybody, move to Chicago. You have a very strong chance of getting a SAG card and working on one of these shows.
So they need new blood.
They need new people. And we are fastly, as Chicago becomes successful and we get more shows, if the actors don't repopulate the town, we are going to continually be in this.
There are actors in Chicago, great actors. They've done theater, they've done TV, movies, and you see them on a lot of the shows because they're very good. And I'm not going to go through the whole list. I've worked with some of them. And they know who they are, and casting knows who they are. And they do get hired because you know exactly what you're going to get from them. You're going to get a great performance. But like you said, there's so many shows, we need more people. Not me need more people, but the shows themselves need like an injection of new blood. And that's why a lot of pilots want to come here, try and get a pilot shot here so we can get new people on those shows too.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you guys, we got some love here on the Facebook page.
Oh, okie dokie.
Oh.
We got A comment from Ray R. Adams in the house.
Oh, J.R. Adams.
Hey, Jay.
J.R. Adams.
Yeah. Oh, great. Hey, great hearing from you, Jay.
What's
Let
up,
us
Eddie
know when
Venom?
you're in town.
Marty Murray III
Yeah.
emphatically agrees that stuntmen should go to acting school.
Yeah.
High five, Marty.
Yeah.
And Jim Nisiyiki
Nice.
Close
Becky.
enough, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
close enough.
Pretty close.
agrees that we have some continuity killers with actors on cross shows.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you about.
You know, it's everyone's in a state of evolving, trying to make things better all the time. It's like nobody wants to do a bad job. Everybody, takes a lot of pride in being in the industry and all of this stuff. It's just, I think people really do get bogged down in a town like this, and they go, well, it's been this way for so long, this is the way that it is. It's like
status quo.
status quo. It's like, well,
It's a killer.
yes, that is the way that it is, and we can still do other things too. I think that having more auditions for stunt people, and then the casting directors not just going to, let's say, one person to speak for a whole 120 people. That one person's bias on what they think qualifies a stunt person, okay? I negotiate my own contracts. You negotiate your own contracts. When I get the job, the casting director calls me directly. And I think that that's the best way to kind of clean up any of that muckiness, is like call stunt people directly so that they can learn about this business too and not be cut out and taken advantage of. And those interactions are just so important for people as they're building their own businesses. The casting directors need to reach out to a multitude of people when selecting people for stunt auditions.
And you should learn how to audition.
And how to submit.
Stunt auditions are totally different than acting auditions. They can call the two of us in and say, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to do a 5-move fight. Go rehearse and show me what you got. Okay, we can do that, no problem. You go audition for a role, some people go read right off the page, some people memorize. You got to know when you walk in, are you going to slate? Know what a slate is,
Right.
Some people don't. There's a lot of things that go into an acting audition that are totally different than a stunt audition. So if you are unsure going into that acting audition, it's going to show. It's going to read all over your face,
Something that we talked about in season 1, it's been a very political year for SAG-AFTRA.
Right.
We have these two
Had the elections.
factions, if people are just tuning in for season 2. Membership first, and then unite for strength. And in between these two factions of our union, and these people really hold grudges, okay? It's like they're basically deciding the future of our contracts. And then as it gets more and more overwhelming, I feel like people back off of the news. And as media and all of this crap happens in the news, in not like Ryan Carr Facebook news, but I mean like horrible things happening around the world, it's almost like news becomes who gets to be there first, and they don't even care about being accurate or anything. It's like, I'm just a normal guy. It's like I like to goof around and joke around. But I do think that we all benefit from asking these questions and having public forums where we can talk about our businesses without
any repercussions.
Any repercussions, exactly. And that's what my hopes are for this. That's what my hopes are with the Ninja Club and everybody. It's like, people have asked questions. People have shown a lot of support for the show. But at the same time, it's like, every once in a while I get a little nervous.
1 minute.
1 minute to go. Well,
Just wrapping up the first half. Like we said before, we break it down for YouTube viewership. So we are staying here. We're just breaking off the first half for YouTube editing, and then
some
we're
people
going to.
may have never actually seen the show before.
Well, they should watch it on
Yeah,
YouTube.
you should watch the old show, but the way we do it, this is a show about making a show. So you guys get to see it live.
And
on
then we
Facebook.
add the graphics. The graphics are behind us now for the studio version. that you don't see watching on Facebook. That's why watch it on YouTube or tell your friends to watch it on YouTube. So we will be back with more Ryan Carr Show for YouTube and
After
on
this.
Facebook.
Yep. Oh, okay. Perfect, Tully. God,
Tully.
I mean, is the guitar great or what? The guitar is so much better than the keyboard.
Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, hacks.
Thank you, anonymous benefactor,
Thank you.
for the toys that you hooked the show up with.
Appreciate it.
We wanted to give a shout out for a guy, Lee B. Golden.
Yeah, Lee B. Golden is a guy out of New York. He is the founder of Film Combat Syndicate. It's dedicated to action and martial arts films. He is a big fan of stunt people. I'm Facebook friends with him, full disclosure. So I'd like to give him a plug because he does support stunt people throughout the country and movies. He's very fair with his reviews of films. And every Monday he does what's called the hit list, where he shines a light on stunt men and women with demo tapes and demo reels, and just he really is a fan of ours. And full disclosure, he's actually featured Bob Wick and a couple other demo fights that I've done with
We're a fan of his.
Sean Burnell.
Yeah.
So anytime you could, right, anytime anybody who's a fan of us, we're a fan of them because they really, he has a passion for what he does. And like I said, he's out of New York. His name is Lee B. Golden.
And he's like an Instagram guy too. You could
Yeah, he's on Instagram as well, and he's just an excellent writer and a fan of action movies like we all are. So thank you, Lee, for supporting us.
Yeah, so thank you, Lee. Somewhere along the same lines here, I have the Action Icon Awards. This is like a cool thing that they do for stunt women, and they do it in California. It's a workshop.
Yeah.
Wednesday, October 18th, Thursday, October 19th, Friday, October 20th. A lot of these are just specifically for stunt women only.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool about it is, like, number one, it's pretty affordable for the people that are here. Some of the names of the people that are going to this event, it would be well worth it to meet these people. Like we've said in the show before, to become a stunt person, you actually have to meet a stunt person. So, learning from any of these people at the Action Icon Awards, that's awesome. So keep an eye out for that. I don't see a hashtag or anything on here, but I'm pretty sure you guys could just Google that.
Yeah.
We were talking about Jeremy working on his project. In Chicago, we have a lot of new media and a lot of new ideas. And as opposed to a place like LA or a bigger city where you can just basically meet somebody in the elevator and put a show together with them, that doesn't really happen here as often. There's almost like a barrier of entry, if we're talking about it like Shark Tank or something, right? And the barrier to entry here is the union stuff and people actually educating themselves.
Right.
I can't tell you how many premieres of things that I've gone to here in Chicago that are premieres for independent things that are actually not SAG-AFTRA works. Now, what we're saying is it's great at any level to be creating, but it's also good to inform yourself of how to get past that glass ceiling. It's like it's great that we're all making. I remember I went to one premiere, and we watched this director go on and on and on for 30 minutes about how he, his ambitions and his dreams and everything for this short film that we watched. And then we watched this short film, and I'll be perfectly honest, it was garbage. It was absolute crap, and it was like 5 minutes of like some bad crap like I make. We all make crap. It's like watching his YouTube stuff, and I'm like, how in the hell did this guy get 200 people in this theater and pay money to come watch his silly YouTube stuff? It's like this is our silly YouTube stuff, but it's like I'm not asking you guys to pay for a ticket to watch the Ryan Carr Show. I'm going to do it myself.
Right.
Make my own ticket.
Right.
You know, like, I wonder if it's because people don't understand that all that stuff is put in place to help you, to put you on the path of production, right?
I mean, this is kind of a vanity project. Obviously, your name's on it. But it's not a vanity. But, I mean, we're all on the show.
It's not a vanity project in the way that I'm making a fake movie
Exactly.
so I can talk to people
Exactly.
about stuff on, you know, like, hey, be in my movie. Let me throw you this favor. Let me do this
Right.
for you. Let me do that for you. It's like, who cares, man? Who cares? You know, favors, I used to, when I was in LA, I remember my manager telling me, we're in the favor business. Ryan, you're in the favor business. It's like, you do this for me, I do this for you. It's like, no, I'm not in the favor business. You know?
That gets me to a point when you help somebody, and by help somebody, I mean you directly give them work.
Right.
I give Tully, if I send Tully to a coordinator and Tully gets hired, I know he's going to thank me. Okay?
Right.
There are people in this business, you give them work, they haven't worked in years, and they don't say a thing. You know? So, what?
I guess.
I think it just goes to the fact that people feel entitled and they don't show any sense of gratitude.
Well,
you know?
they say things like men and women can't be friends, and then it's like, you know, things like this where it's like, well, can you really have friends in this business? Is that what it's come down to? Can you really have friends? I guess if you've known people for a long time, it's easier to trust them, and it's harder to trust new people. I can understand that. but it's
Like in life too.
But, you know, Tully is really my friend.
Yeah.
We do this show because it's fun for us. You know, it's like, it's Friday and I get to hang out with my buddies, you know? But I do want to talk about something maybe, because we were touching on the Unite for Strength membership first stuff, okay? They somehow figured out how to get the attention of all the stunt people, you know, it's like, and everybody's banging on their chest and stuff, and then there's, you know, lots of stuff that bubbles up to the surface, and then they don't do anything about it. It's like we're literally the only people that actually care about that stuff. When it's popular to care about it, everybody cares about it. Everybody's beating on their chest and sharing a video, right? But it's like, oh, well, what are you going to do about it? You and I, we're both submitted to be on the National Stunt and Safety Committee. We'll see if they pick us. It's up to the president of SAG-AFTRA, basically. If they pick us, hopefully we'll have all kinds of stuff to talk about.
Right.
But I would be shocked if anybody else even knew about it. You know, it's like right now, Natalie is in, it's not called Congress, it's called Convention.
Convention.
Okay? All of the SAG people, all of these union people that are making the decisions for us, staff and board members and people that are basically campaigning for their own positions within the union, they're all together in LA right now drinking champagne. Okay? Maybe they're not drinking champagne,
Well,
but they're
they're
drinking
all
something.
Kissing each other's asses.
A lot of these people, this is what I've come to realize recently, is that a lot of these people, it's like they're actors, right? They represent us. They're SAG-AFTRA, but they haven't acted in years. It's like they're not even part of the actual community anymore. Their whole thing is preserving their power and their status
And staying relevant in
and
their
staying
eyes.
relevant in that boardroom.
Right.
And, you know, it's like they may have not even auditioned or anything in a very long time. It's like, you know, if at some point you stop being a stuntman, then do you just stop, you know, having a say-so? I guess, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
like if I stopped coaching gymnastics, then it's like, am I going to go into a gym and try to take a coach under my wing and say, no, this is the way that you teach a front handspring? No, you know,
No.
it's like I wonder why people hold on to these things like they grasp and clutch at their position and it's all like, why? Why do they do that?
Ego.
Ego. Wow.
We all have an
Good answer,
ego.
Bob.
That's why we're in this business. But some people have bigger egos than others, and some people let that ego get in the way of work or life. You don't have an ego. Thank you, Tully.
Good one, Tully.
Appreciate
Good one.
that. So,
Well, I think that there should be things that qualify people. I think that standards are very important. It's
Right.
like Gordon Ramsay, he has that, all those shows that he has. A lot of the restaurants that Gordon Ramsay goes and films the shows, they still go out of business, right?
sure.
But the whole point of it is, it's like he's like the tooth fairy. He just flies into the restaurant. He's trying to give them standards. He's trying to give them the standard of like, hey, it's not okay to wipe your ass and then cook that cheeseburger, right? That's where things change and get better. When standards start actually happening. It's like, if you can't run a mile, if you literally can't run a mile without stopping or catching your breath or like, I mean, I want an 8-minute mile, at least an 8-minute mile. It's like, you have no, find a different job.
You should be in physical shape. And it sounds stupid to say that, but when you're not working, go in the gym, take yoga, stretch, do something athletic to keep yourself in shape, because you never know when you're going to get called.
Right.
And if you're sitting on the couch, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
You get called and you can't do it, then you're not going to, it's going to be longer before you get called.
I'm like hopping around, but it's like I was trying to like articulate. There's crazy stuff happening right now, man.
Yeah.
The whole rest of how contracts are going to be done for the future are pretty much getting decided at a party right now in LA that nobody knows about or cares about. These people are deciding what they're going to do right now. And
For all of us.
For all of us.
And we have no idea what they're talking about.
And nobody told anybody about it. It's like,
That's why we want to keep people informed, that when, let people, our fellow members, and then even people who are non-union, we want you to be able to find out what's going on in the union, so when you do join, you're one step ahead.
And you're aware as well.
And you're aware.
yeah. There's different things that have come up. Pete Antico was a stuntman, so it's like, and still is a stuntman, stunt coordinator. He, in a way, was giving
1 minute.
Oh my God! He held their feet to the flame. He got a close level of scrutiny on some financial stuff and everything. One of the things that they answered back with, now I know that this is a little out there and doesn't really matter as much to LA, or I guess it would matter to everybody, is one of the things that they retorted back is that stunt coordinators shouldn't even be in SAG-AFTRA.
And
They should be in the DGA. Okay? And when you think about that, when you think about things like that, it's talking about reshaping the union. Stunt people really should have their own union.
we should get into that more in depth in another show.
Yeah.
Before we go, The Scavenger, Jeremy's movie, next Friday. You can go on my Facebook page. He shares all the information, and Ryan's as well. And Jeremy, of course, he'll have it on his page promoting it. But if you're out in the burbs, Bolingbrook, not too far from the city, and go out there and support somebody in the business.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Go Cubs.
Yeah, want to thank Bob Beck, want to thank Tully, want to thank Jeremy and Sarah in the booth. And you guys check us out on Fridays. It's the Ryan Carr Show, Season 2. Season 2.